Hi everyone. So we are in the final stages of this project, and I just want to talk you through the last two lessons. We've got in enrichment week, activities week coming up, so we do lose a lesson, I believe. So I'm going to suggest, or I'm going to assume we've got two lessons left, which is fine. It's exactly where we needed to be. Last week, we looked at some of the things that you could plant. And if you weren't able to go out and get a plant, or you don't have one to transplant, you could just try your planter out using tomato seeds and things like that. So that's what that was about. But now we're moving into the final stage of testing and evaluating. Okay. And the idea of this is that you set up a diary for the week. And there's a template here. You can download this Word document if you wish. It's entirely up to you. But you just test out your planter for the week. So you need to get some soil and you need to plant something as we've always wanted you to do. Okay, so have a read. I'm not going to go through this. Uh, but the sort of things that you could do in your diary, which you just save on your Surface somewhere so that you can spend a couple of minutes each day just making a note. It could be things like I've said developments, problems, and positives. You might choose some other ones. So a development might be that you woke up and the dog has run into it, and or the dog wagging the tail because they weren't happy to see you in the morning and they've knocked it over. So that's kind of saying it's in the wrong place or it's not strong enough. So you kind of make a comment about that, or it could be a problem. It might be that you've noticed that the sun is on it too long and it's really drying it up too quickly. It could be that you've watered it, but it overflowed because the water wasn't absorbed by the soil quick enough and you didn't realize it was going to overflow. And these are all things that might happen over the week. It could be that that nothing's happened, that everything's fine, but it is going to need watering, and you just keep a note of problems that have occurred, positives, people that might have commented on it. It's looking good. It's maybe if you're growing seeds, it's started to show new growth. I don't know. Um, just put that in the form of a diary. So your first task is to set that up. Okay, have it ready and then run it for a week or so, just keeping note of what happens. Don't be afraid to put nothing if nothing's happened. Next thing, and this is for the next 2 weeks, because like I said, I'm setting up work for 2 weeks. We're going to go to an evaluation method that you've seen before. And this slide is just to help you and to remind you of the method we use where you comment on each of these headings. Okay, sometimes customer is called client. So there's a little bit of work to read through and revise. If you are GCSE next year, really important that you look at this. And then that leads to your evaluation. Okay. And what I'd like you to do is over the 2 weeks, have a look at your planter, see how it's working. If you've not been able to plant anything, then that's fine, but you can still do an evaluation. Look at these headings and look, there's consumer being used there instead of client or customer. It's the same thing. And just make an observation, a judgment as to how well it's meeting and answering some of those questions. If you go back, what's the color? What do you think of the color? Has it turned out okay? What do people think? And try and squeeze it in there. I know this is a bit small, but you can zoom up and get some writing in there. I'd love to see the planter in all its glory. So if you can squeeze it in there for me. You've got the view tool, so we can obviously make this bigger. And that completes the project. Okay, for 2 weeks, you've got this testing and evaluation to do. We are going to assess, and we are going to use this one here as to record an assessment. Okay, so we will be giving you a level based on your work. Obviously, we know some people will have found it hard. Don't worry about this. It's just to give you some feedback and to complete the year in design and technology. So I'm looking forward, as I've said all along, to seeing what you're doing. There's some amazing work coming out, some really good stuff, interesting things I would never have thought of. Just keep going, finish it off, and we'll see you all next year. But I will be around here still on Teams to ask questions for both this lesson and the last lesson in the last week. Okay, so bye for now.